Science does more than just tell you things about the world. It influences how you think in almost every way, from your ethics to your finances to your societally, how you treat other people, right? Yeah, part of being literate in science is knowing this cosmic perspective where we just are one planet. That does something to you deeply. You know, there's a very deep roots, very deep roots. Science has on me. It's made me a better person in almost every single way. But people are lacking this. We're lacking science very much in modern world. We live in this world of information, or we have access to all the information ever. Yet we misuse it. And that's the most tragic thing I've ever seen. Nobody knows how to use it. We're flooded. We're being bombarded by all this information. We're flooding in it. We're swimming in it. Yet we don't know how to even take a cup of it and drink it. we don't even know how to take a bottle and go, ooh, let's take some information in. We don't know how to make use of it to any degree. People blindly believe. They go on social media like Twitter, Facebook. They just believe whatever people tell them. They believe whoever has the most hearts is the most likely to be true. No, that's not the right way to look at things. And people are lazy and they're fact checking. They don't care for fact checking. They just want to believe whoever sounds loudest. That's the wrong way to do this. Right? We are misusing social media. We're misusing this information, and we're getting to the point where today it's harming us. I mean, 20 years ago this is not an issue because nobody was online. Okay, but now we our entire lives are online, right? Everybody, almost every person on this planet goes on their phone every day and ingests information. So we're living online now. It's more important than ever that we're illiterate in science. But at the same time, we are the least scientifically literate generation, almost, in that regard. This concerns me. That, nobody is thinking critically. Why does anything exist? That's a bad question to ask, right? I never ask that question. That's a dumb question, to be frank. Why do we exist? Maybe there is no why. Maybe we just do. Maybe asking why is a fruitless thing to ask. And if that bothers you, good. Let it bother you because you're going to grow comfortable with it, right? The world isn't this place where the answers are always attainable. Sometimes the answer is impossible to get. So we have to just accept it and move on to the better questions. Like instead of why do we exist, well, how does evolution happen? How did we evolve? How do I poke this fossil and see what's on the other side of it? Or how do I dig this piece of ground and dirt and see the geological strata? Those are better questions than why do we exist? That's something a child would ask. And it's cute, but it doesn't do anything for you to answer. No matter what I say, why do we exist? It's just a subjective, right? We need if you want to know the truth of things, you have to go more than just opinion. But yeah, I mean, with those questions, they don't affect me in any way. Sure, they might come around and I might ponder things here and there, but I'm not stuck in them. I'm not overloaded by these questions. I don't let that happen. I don't let those questions overrun my thinking. Yeah, and I'm not saying don't imagine. What I'm saying is don't overthink about silly questions. You know, questions that you know it can't be answered currently. And that's what science is. Science is sharpening our thinking, sharpening our questions, and it's constantly at the frontier of what the latest thing we know of is, right? And that's what science lives, on that boundary between the frontiers of knowledge and the mystery. And it's always trying to push further, push further, and that's what science is. And that's why science is so fruitful and it has brought about so much prosperity, because it freaking works. It's pushing the boundaries a bit more gradually, right? Every experiment a little bit more, right? And that's the proper way to do it. You know, it's like you're building a puzzle and you want to know, oh, what's the answer to the puzzle? Well, you only have 2 pieces. Let's get some more pieces first, right? Let's build, let's get 10, 20 pieces first before we can guess what the puzzle is. But you over here, you're sitting here. What's the answer? You have 1 piece in your hand. What's the answer? And then you're trying to force pieces together that don't belong. Well, hold on a second and just do it piece by piece, gradually, slowly, and then you'll get the answer. Can you stop mentioning those other people, please? I do not like talking about other influencers. Please, don't. Those are more dumb questions. You were that angry guy. I'm not an angry guy. I try my best to be patient. Nobody's perfect, and even being on in these debate settings is going to invoke a bit of emotion in anybody, and this applies to almost anybody, unless you're made of stone. You're gonna have some kind of response to people's crazy, questions and crazy arguments. Do you like engineering? Absolutely. Anything STEM is fantastic. It makes the world better. It makes the world a better place. I don't know why people take science for granted all the time. We take it for granted. It runs everything. It literally is the reason why we have everything we have. Like from the light I'm looking at, the phone, the microphone, my clothes, my hair. I mean, the perfume, the deodorant I used. That was science there too. Right? Everything was produced through science. And the idea that we just take it for granted. Oh, let's just go watch the Hawk-Tuah podcast. That's sad. That's sad to me that people don't pay more attention to science. Because if we did, the world would be a better place. If we just were more literate in science, the world would be a way better place. Oh my gosh. So many things would be solved. So much less hate. And social media has now been configured in such a way that it preys upon people's emotions and gullibility. So not only are we scientifically illiterate when we hop online, but now the posts that generate the most misinformation get the most clicks, and we've now fostered a system in which misinformation propagates very easily. That's sad. We let this happen to ourselves. We don't We have not been responsible. And when I say love science, I don't mean, become a scientist. What I'm saying is, just like being literate in English or Spanish, we should be literate in science to that degree. I'm not saying become a librarian or a philosopher or a poet. I'm just saying, hey, learn some science. Learn about what scientific thinking is. I think that's more than ever integral to today's world. Is it bad that our brains are not evolved for scientific thinking? So that's false. Our brains are evolved for scientific thinking. I mean, even children do science. What happens with children? You see children jump into pud puddles. Pud. What is it called? Mud puddles. They jump in mud puddles. And why? Because part of their brain says, "What's there? Let's see what happens when I jump in there." Right? Oh, look, the mud. That's science. Or, let's bang some pots and pans together and see what sound it makes. That's science. Or let's take the stick and see how far it can go down to the ground. That's science. It's poking, it's testing, it's seeing what happens. That's what the human brain does, and that's why we all do science. It's just that we're not very literate in it. We're not very understanding of the method. Also, when people go to school, they are told from their peers that, if you like science, you're a nerd. Or, you're just a dumb nerd. You have no, science is boring. Science is tough. It's too hard. So I'm not going to, no, that's not, the science isn't too hard. Science, people can do sports statistics. They know how that works. They know how to gamble on their apps. That takes math. Right? It's not that hard to do science. Not much harder at all. It's just that people are taught from society that these things are bad and tough. And when people do good in science, they don't get praised like we praise sports kids, right? Why are there varsity jackets for sports, but no varsity jackets for science? For the good good science kids. Why, is it that when you do good in sports, you're considered a great person, and then when you do good in science, you're considered a nerd? Why? Why this societal stigma? Why do we make a society that doesn't reward more disciplined thinking or better vocabulary? Why is it that people today have no vocabulary? They don't know how to speak properly, or even, these are all affecting small things, but put together affecting us as a society negatively. I mean, all these things add up here. I'm not saying that tomorrow we all have to become scientists. What I'm saying is we can all make use of this information differently, where we already are swimming in it. Why not make use of it better day by day, and the world will gradually become a better place. It's not that hard. Bro, nobody cares about your vision. We have the Bible and Jesus is the truth. That's another reason why I do this. Because part of also being scientifically literate is the sense that you should be open to other ideologies, open to other ideas. And when you're religious, you're so closed off from anything else. You're closed off from, oh no, that's the demons, right? Everything that disagrees with you is demonic. oh no, LGBT, demonic, everything's demonic, everything's demonic. That's not fruitful at all. That's terrible. You know, so these comment sections like, oh no, why are you saying this, Mike? You're wrong. Jesus is the way. Show me evidence. Or why hasn't the question arise in your mind, suggesting that maybe you should know before you speak if there really is a Jesus? See, it's why this is the most important thing. Because everything comes back to science. Everything comes back to that scientific mindset. You know? You have the God goggles on. Everything you see is God, right? Who did it? God. Who made it? God. Who made us? God. Who made that? God. Who did this? Where does morality come from? God. Where does that come from? God. Where did it be? Who made that? God. Who made God? Nobody. Right? You have the God goggles on. You're suffering from God goggle syndrome. Take them off. Take them off for a second and think about and see the world from a different way. It just makes me confused why people don't care about this. I just don't understand. I don't understand why people are so off-put by science. It's sad because it's maybe I'm just privileged and maybe I just I don't know. But I think everybody can see the world I see it, the way I see it. I don't think I'm special. I think that everybody can understand the things I understand. So. There's something about thinking this way that just absolutely makes life way more amazing to live in. The experience is more precious, more, I don't know how to describe it. Trying to find the words, but it makes the world more colorful. The world looks dull from somebody who's illiterate in science. The world looks dull. The world looks scary. It looks confusing. It looks dull. Whereas in my eyes, I see very clearly and I see the world in a more colorful way. Things are more colorful. And this applies to everything I do. And the more you understand the things around you, the more colorful they become. Right? When you understand what we are made of, that right now there are trillions of cells roaming around my body, each interacting in certain ways that because of their structures give rise to certain organs. And every second, trillions of reactions are occurring in your body, giving rise to your liver and your kidneys, and those things are regrowing in your body. That is an amazing fact. That's an amazing fact. And the fact that every time I drink this water, it goes into my body and my blood and my bloodstream, and my cells take advantage of it to make more cells. And when I breathe, that oxygen is going into my lungs, and my lungs put it to my bloodstream, and bloodstream. You see the world differently that way, right? You that changes the way you see your being as a human. right? Now you're going to be more grateful for that water. You're going to be more understanding of the things around you. In a way that not only makes it more colorful to understand, but also motivates you to make better decisions about the water around you, right? If everybody understood how precious water, fresh water, can be, we wouldn't be making a mess of it. We wouldn't be making a mess of the world so much. If everybody knew that every drop of carbon that emits from your exhaust or a factory goes into the atmosphere, it travels up there, and it acts as a blanket by blocking sunlight from going out into space. It traps it inside like a blanket. It lets the light in, but it doesn't let it out. And the radiation that comes in from the sun goes onto the surface. The surface reflects it back. The carbon dioxide molecule traps it in. If everybody understood that, if everybody understood the science of climate change, the solutions would be more accessible. The problem would be way less prominent, because we'd understand what we're doing to the world. People don't understand. That's why 50% of Americans don't even understand climate change. It's a fact. If everybody understood evolution, that we're all apes, that every one of us is an ape, or just great apes, or just one species of ape. That's all we are, and we share ancestry with other apes. All the gorillas, chimps, orangutans, all those living apes today, we share family with. If you go about 6 million years ago back, and before that, we share ancestors with monkeys, and before that, shrew-like animals, and before that, reptiles, amphibians. And if everybody understood these facts of reality, well, racism would be way less. We wouldn't be so divided, because we'd recognize that we're all family, that we all stem from the same beginnings, origins. People wouldn't be so quick to hate each other, right? Look at what science and understanding can do to the world in many more ways than just knowing things, right? And these are just the surface level benefits to science. There's so much more. But people in the comments, oh no, evolution's not real. Okay, you can believe that all you want, but the facts prove you're wrong. Go look at the fossil record. I mean, the evidence is overwhelming, and, how could you be so resistant to learning? I mean, come on. It has to do with religion. That's another reason why I talk about this, because religion has a way of preventing you from thinking and preventing you from looking at other possibilities. You're cut off from science in a way. You're cut off from these amazing things and facts about the world. It's like, you're deprived of something in my eyes. You're just deprived of something that is right in front of your face, but you just oh, I don't want to see it. Turn the other cheek. Turn away. It's not there. Because God is the reason, right? Again, you have your God goggles on, and everything you see the world from is through that lens, that same one lens. Take it off for a second. Change the lens, or at least take it off. See what's on the other. See what else is out there, right? You're rambling. Nobody listens anymore, right? We all just want the quick 2 minutes of entertainment. No, we don't listen anymore. We don't digest information properly anymore. We just want to go online and get the quick laugh or giggle, see the cute cat for 2 seconds, and then log right off. You're missing out. You're missing out on so much more that can enhance your life and others' lives, and would ultimately make the world a better place. I mean, another fundamental reason why I like science is because it helps you enjoying the world. Okay, I don't just enjoy the world; I enjoy enjoying it. I appreciate it more because of the things I know about it, right? And that makes me want to cherish the world ultimately. And that motivates me to do all kinds of things. So that I feel like people are just so deprived of this sense. Right? People are so pessimistic, and I think that science can bring about some optimism back. It's again, it's not easy to explain this to people, right? It's not easy to get this out into words, but it's something that bothers me about modern society, especially in today's world where we have so much access to this information. This doesn't get talked about much, though, if you've noticed. People don't really talk about these deep things. You know, online you have atheists, and there's different categories of atheists. First and foremost are the anti-theists, right? The ones who are just angry. Like, oh, no, God isn't real. And they have reasons to be angry, but they don't really go deeper than that. Right? They just go, oh, God isn't real. You're crazy for believing in this. Then you have the more philosopher type of atheist who is composing all these different arguments and, making up all these things and thinking about all these philosophical questions. And yes, there's reasons for that. There's good use to that, but it also gets you nowhere. It also doesn't talk about those deep existential things, right? So, there is a smaller and smaller pocket of people talking about the deeper questions about how science connects with religion and all, connects with these things, belief in God and science, and I don't know how to explain it. Or purpose, right? People often leave religion and they don't know what to believe. They don't know what their purpose is. They're looking for that. They have that spiritual hunger for something, and they know religion's not real. But then they go, okay, what do I believe? How do I cope with all this? How do I become happy? Right? People look for to be happy. So there's a missing pocket of people who talk about connecting spirituality with science in a way. Not the esoteric stuff. I'm talking about the emotion, the existential questions of why do we do things? What's the reason why we're here being on Earth? What motivates you to continue doing things, and why should we care about each other and things like that? And I think that's where I come in and in a way try to show people that you can still be happy as an atheist. You can still be a happy, fruitful, prosperous person as an atheist with purpose, full of purpose. Full of motivation, purpose, and eagerness to learn. You can still have that as an atheist. You don't have to go into this deep nihilistic mode where you're sad all the time and, oh no, nothing matters. You don't have to be there. right? And that's something that's missing in today's world. I mean, with all the polarization going on with not just politics but also religious debates, right? People that are religious are saying, "Oh no, atheists are going to hell." The atheists are saying, "Oh no, you're crazy for believing this." That battle needs to end at some point. This, well, at least not end, but also we need to shift tracks a bit here. We need to open up another track here. There has to be another place people can go to feel better about the fact that there is no God and that there is no stuff like that. Yeah, a lot of people are polarized and they don't. They're just eager to shut down the theist. Right? And I think that's how I was in the past, but I think that there needs to be a shift. We need to stop being so dismissive of theists and start showing them that they can be happy without God. And in fact, in more ways than not, you can be happier. You can enjoy life even more without religion. You can, and this goes with spirituality too. Maybe I should make up a new religion or something, but I don't know. Call it Burgundyism. But I don't know. Something has to. With this influx of people leaving religion, and it's happening. I mean, people have left Christianity, and people will soon leave in droves Islam. Believe it or not, Islam will be dying quicker, in my view, faster than even Christianity died in America and in the Western world. Islam is propagating, is prevalent in the Middle East for really one reason: lack of education. The lack of access to education is what has been fostering Islam for so long. And not just the sense that it's too expensive to go to school, but the sense that politicians, the government, are trying to censor the internet. And that's why in many of those countries it's illegal to have a VPN. It's also you're not able to go onto American websites or Western websites, right? Or they only show you certain parts of the internet, right? So, the point is that the culture there has for so long stopped people from getting a proper education, and that's what helps religion foster. But that's changing as soon with AI. They're educated. No, I'm not saying they're not educated. I'm saying that they're educated, but only in the things that correlate to Islam, right? They're educated in Islam, and they think that that's the glue that holds everything together, right? They're not open to other ideologies. Politicians and governments prevent people from asking questions about Islam, right? So that's the point I'm talking about. Not just general education, right? Education in these regards. But it also is the case that generally people still lack access to education in the same rate of the Western world, right? But that's changing with the advent of the internet. It's changing a little bit. People are now accessing the internet in those countries way more today. AI will also change education. AI is also going to be another disruption, another wave of disruption for religion. So I think that Islam will die even faster. I predict. But the point is that with all these people leaving religion, there's a lack of spirit in people. There's a lack of spirit in people. People think, oh, it's either religion or you have no purpose. That's not the true dichotomy. There's another option there. It's kind of the cosmic perspective, a perspective of from a scientific world, scientific perspective. And you can still be a very happy person that way. And that's what's lacking, I think. I think that's lacking. This is something that many scientists of the maybe many popularizers of the past have noted, like Stephen Hawking and Carl Sagan, Richard Feynman, people like that really popularized science. Neil Tyson, right? Bill Nye, right? These guys were trying to trying to propagate the message, and they succeeded in doing it. But I see a world that's slowly moving away from that because it's like a flood came and we're just so we got dragged by the flood waters to another part of the ocean, and we lost our way, right? We've lost our compass, so we don't know how to navigate the ocean anymore. We've lost it. It doesn't work as much as it used to. So I think that we need somebody to. We need people, more people, and it's going to take all of us really to. Explain to people this perspective. That's not just religion, happy, atheism, sad. Those are not the only two things. That there's a in between. Or not in between, but another option that can exceed both of those in almost every way imaginable. That's all. If that happened, guys, I mean, who could be against that? Who could be against a world that cares more about each other, the animals, the people, the world? I mean, part of the reason why the world is being treated so poorly by humans is because we take it for granted. We don't understand it. We have lost motivation to care because we think it's not important because we were never taught it was, right? But when you see the world through my eyes, through my lens, you'll realize that it is important. When you see the world from a scientific perspective, things become more colorful, such that you want to sustain that color. You want to maintain it. You want to embrace it. And that's what motivates me to do the things I do. And that's what, if everybody had that, the world would be a better place by far. And by the way, it's not that I have one lens and that's it. I'm not advocating that I have one lens to look through. I'm just saying my perspective. But there is a cosmic perspective is not a lens on its own. It's lensless. It's bare. It's raw. You don't see the world through any one particular lens. You're looking at the world as it exists without any ideology in particular imposing on that view or distorting that view. right? It's just a raw look at the world, the reality. Well, at least it's as raw as we could be, or could make it. And that's the point here, right? It's not necessarily that I have one lens that you must look through my lens, but it's that the goal is to reduce the amount of lens as possible. The more you reduce the lensing, the more you can see the world clearly and more properly, fruitfully. But I hope that made sense to some people. I hope that made sense to some people. Because it's indescribable how grateful and in love I am with the world. An experience. It really is incredible. To be happy, not because somebody told you to be happy or because, oh, look, he made it for us, but because I just generally am happy. And happy and just being part of the universe, star stuff, right? A lot of theists will say, oh, you think we're just star stuff? Yes, and because of that, it's a more amazing thing. Look at what the star stuff can do. Look at what the star stuff can do. And we're all made of it, and look at what you can do with it. That's incredible. That's a real amazing perspective that you just can't get from reading a book. You know. And that's the whole point of star stuff that Carl Sagan said. The whole point of that is that it's not what we're made of. It's what you do with it, right? It's not what you're made of that matters. It's what you're doing with it. It's how these things come together in certain ways, you know. And that's what religious people miss, because they're blinded by this notion that, oh no, God made it. That's why we're special, because God made it. But if that's the only reason why you're special, well, that's a terrible way to derive your specialness. Oh, we're only special. We only have purpose because God made it. So we're only special because by chance we happen to be made by this magic wizard? That's not purpose, right? Whereas in my eyes, purpose is derived from the things we do, the love we provide, the interactions we have with other people, right? The help we give, the things we experience and explore, and those things alone give me purpose. Because if we're looking at things as, you know, that's just it. That's just all we get. This is one experience. And there is no afterlife. We weren't made here for any particular purpose, but we are here and we're experiencing things, and that's all we get, and that's why things are exciting to be in. This place is exciting to be in. I mean, look at how mysterious the world is, and look at how many things we have learned, and look at how much information we have. There's so much to explore and love and learn, you know. What if you're wrong and there was an afterlife? I wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother me. Because I'm so enthralled by this life that I couldn't care about an after. And if there is, great. But this life is everything to me. That's all we know we get, right? And that's why whether or not there's a God or an afterlife, that doesn't bother me. I don't ask that question to myself at all. I ask myself, how can I make this life better? we're all so focused on going to heaven, why not make this life heaven? Right? Why are we so focused on, the afterlife when we have the now life to care for and to embrace and cherish? What if you're wrong? If you're wrong, oh my gosh, you just wasted your life pretending and by hoping and wishing that this thing would come when it never did, and now you missed the now. You missed the world, the life you had. And yeah, furthermore, you've missed all the color. You've lived a dull life. You've just seen dullness. That's sad. When you could have easily just taken off your God goggles and seen the world differently. In a much more amazing way. So, look, these are very complicated questions. It's not easy telling this to people. It's not easy learning this or understanding this, but it takes time, and it's like piece by piece. You just gotta build the puzzle. And the beautiful thing about building the puzzle, from a scientific view, is that you start to enjoy the process of building the puzzle. You start to enjoy it. Whereas somebody who's religious, when they're building the puzzle, they just want the answer now. They don't care about the process. They could care less about the process of science. They care about what the answer is only. And because you're so focused on the outcome, you miss the journey. See? The theist lives their life so utterly focused on the outcome that they miss the journey. They miss the humility. They miss the colorfulness of the journey. That's another reason why science is important. And I can go on and on and on. I can talk about this for years and years and years. But this is just a taste of what science is like. It's more than just learning facts or matching things on a piece of paper for a test. That's not science, right? Science goes way more beyond filling in bubbles for a test. It's about seeing the world in a way different way that just cannot be explained in a sentence. So, hopefully I tried to make you think more. I genuinely care. I do. I really do care about people. So I'm trying my best to be patient. I'm trying my best to be the best I can be. Always. And if at the end of the day there's a God and I go to heaven or go to hell or something, and he says, "Well, Mike, you didn't believe in me. Right? You will go to hell now." I'll gladly accept it, because I'd rather go to hell and burn and be who I am and not change and hold my dignity and hold my integrity than to blindly follow some slave master who just merely tells me that I'm good because I obeyed his every order and command. That to me is not worth my time. So I'd rather go to hell for doing what I'm doing than be in heaven and be a little goody two-shoe for God. I'd rather be who I am always, an honest, genuine person who's really looking for truth instead of somebody who just pretends they have it.